We don't live in the same world our grandparents did. Sometimes the news makes me just shake my head. This is not business as usual. Something is wrong. Something is off. Here in this little protected corner of the world, this little cozy nook, safe haven, the rain keeps falling, the flowers keep blooming, and life goes on mostly as normal. But out there, beyond the confines of our sheltered little bubble, people have changed, and our kids are paying the price. Hi, I'm Morgiana Anderson. I'm mom to 8 kids, and I am passionate about helping mothers who are deeply invested in their children's mental, emotional health, happiness, and well-being, and freedom, not just when they're little, but throughout their life. Because parenting is the ultimate long game. And if that's you, and if you are also interested in a little health, happiness, and freedom for yourself, you're in the right place. So like and subscribe, share, and stick around to see what I can help you with. It used to be that it was taken for granted, at least among most people, that the adults would take the hit. That it was on us to make the world we lived in, or at least to deal with the mess we inherited. We protected the innocent. We stood up against evil. We did the small and daily things that kept things going. And we didn't necessarily complain about it. It was just the thing that grown-ups did. Children were going to throw tantrums, get into trouble, make messes, and need support and comfort. But that's what grown-ups are there for. Now, I'm not so sure. Looking around, we have it all backward. We want our children to save the world. And we want someone to ease the way for us, to comfort us. We want the world and life to meet us on our terms the way we want it to be. And we can spend a long time complaining about what's wrong and wallowing in the unfairness of it all. As if talking we're better than just doing the work of getting down to change what we can change. Just as an example, we send our school-age children to institutions that are often mentally, if not physically, harmful. Between bullying and the rising threat of gun violence, there's no question that these are not safe places. They're often academically deficient, and they struggle to meet even the basic needs of childhood. We spend millions trying to teach them social skills, emotional coping skills, and other ways of making the world better. But we strongly resist, confronting ourselves and learning those skills ourselves as adults. These environments, these relationships, we would never tolerate being put in ourselves. And yet we justify that it builds resilience in our children, that they'll be all right. Why? Perhaps because it requires too much uncomfortable investment and sacrifice from us as adults. But isn't that what adults do? As a result, our children are struggling, not only under the heavy burdens that we allow to lie on them, but they're learning to avoid accountability themselves, to seek to be comforted as adults rather than to comfort, and to shrug off the responsibility of making your life what it should be onto something or someone else. They're learning to live a twisted truth that seeks to empower and encourage those least able to try to affect change, while reinforcing passivity and a focus on self-comfort in those who should have the power to do something. Have you seen this happening around you? I can't be the only one. Let me know in the comments what you see. I'll be clear, this isn't just a choice. Children deserve to live in a world where they receive care and protection that allows them to grow and mature during that time of their life. When they don't, they kind of get stuck there. And it makes an unconscious, continual turning back to that, trying to seek and receive the nurturance and the protection and the care that would have allowed them to properly mature. This is the topsy-turvy dynamic that we see. Wait. When we try to teach our infants to be independent in all things, sleep, feeding, social interactions, we push our toddlers to be nice and to share when their little brains aren't even capable of comprehending the idea of it. And yet we harp on the fact that the brain is not fully developed until 25 years old, and excuse self-absorption and passivity in our young adults and in our older adults. This is the key. You can't get a more independent, mature adult by forcing a more independent, mature toddler or child. You only naturally get the fruit of self-control and real maturity when you meet each stage of life where it is and give the nurturing that's appropriate to that stage. This is why mothers are so incredibly important. We lay the foundation not just for individual lives, for our children, but collectively for the whole future. We have the power to turn this tide. We have the power to set off a whole generation on solid ground again. Children may be the hope of the future, but we are the hope of right now. What do we do? How do we make the difference? Especially, how do we make that difference if we feel like we're one of those people who didn't get nurturing and care, who turns back to seek that nurturing, turns back to seek that protection that we didn't receive as a child? Well, here's where we learn the rule that only about 1% of the world knows and teaches. It's the 1% of people that are truly happy, truly free, and truly successful, not just in any one aspect of life, but all around. The 1%, you ready for that rule? Handle yourself. The only thing that you can truly, actually, fully change is yourself. And once you do, effects ripple outward from that in a way that's almost magical to change people, relationships, circumstances around you that you never could change by seeking to change them. It seems like a paradox, but it's a reality. So mothers, instead of getting trapped in this cycle of resentment or anger at the many injustices and wrongs of life, instead of being weighed down with depression and anxiety because of the many fears and sorrows around us, instead of hoping for, begging for, demanding that someone make it right, someone care for us, it's time to step up and mother ourselves. We can't all make policy or fight the bad guys. We can't all be out on the front lines. The crazy thing, I heard someone say this, the crazy thing about motherhood is that even when the world is burning down around us, the most important thing still that we can be doing is playing with our kids, loving them, teaching them, creating a safety and a strength and a real foundation for the future through our presence, our peace, our own self-knowledge and self-control. When we mother ourselves, meeting ourselves with real care and compassion, holding on to ourselves with self-discipline that's rooted in love, we can make ripples. They just start small, but they will end up in a tsunami to put out this burning world and start it fresh. We can teach that one rule to our kids. Handle yourself by word and by deed, and change the world again. Now, go watch my video on what happens when you become your family cycle breaker.